got fucking. I gotta move that up a little bit. And there we go. Hey guys, what's up? I am here with another Blu-ray DVD collection update. I got the horror pack yesterday, and had to do a real quick unboxing of that. And I was out last night with my friends, just hanging out. But I've got a pretty decent amount of stuff here, as well as some CDs, some Blu-rays, DVDs, and a couple CDs. But I will start with some of the older stuff first. So, starting with something that stuff that I actually bought on the very first of this month, surprisingly. I went to the Adult Swim drive-in and I was waiting around. We were waiting to get in and they weren't letting anybody line up yet. So I checked out a buybacks that was nearby and I bought a couple things. I got Reservoir Dogs, the Mr. Pink slipcover edition, which this is just the regular 2-disc 10th anniversary edition version, but it's still the Mr. Pink slipcover variant, which I think I might want to get a couple more of these, because I know they have one for each character, but Mr. Pink's probably one of the best characters in the entire movie. But still, I am not the biggest fan of Reservoir Dogs personally. I think it's a great movie. I think it's not a great movie. I think it's a pretty good movie. I don't think it's absolutely amazing or anything, but I already owned this exact copy of it, so I own 2 copies of this exact edition, but I wanted to get this because it had the slipcover and it was only like $4, and I like having like special editions like that. I also got with it the Nicolas Cage movie with, directed by Joel Schumacher, 8mm. And I know this is a film about, like, Nicolas Cage is like an FBI agent and he watches a snuff film and he has to, like, you know, kind of, he's watching this film that they think is a snuff film and he has to kind of prove its authenticity. I've known about this movie for years, ever since I first started doing a research and started getting into the kind of like pseudo-snuff film kind of genre, as well as like looking into and you know, researching real snuff. I mean, this stuff is really, really interesting kind of subject matter, and it was $1, and I couldn't pass up this for $1. I keep in mind I bought both of these on the first, and I mean, I've already watched Reservoir Dogs multiple times. Not since the first, but multiple times in my entire life. And I already know the copy I already had works, so I just mainly wanted to get that one for collectible reasons. But I've never seen this, and so even if it doesn't work now, it's way past the warranty. I mean, actually, no, it doesn't even have a warranty because it was one of the discount DVDs, so therefore it's sold as is. So even if it doesn't work, yeah, it doesn't, it's not gonna... It's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna affect me. It was $1. Next over to a half-price books. They were having a sale the same weekend, and I got Event Horizon, which is an old, crappy DVD of it. Even though it says widescreen, it doesn't say that it's widescreen enhanced for full-screen TVs. So therefore, on any normal widescreen TV, this looks absolutely terrible. And if you try to zoom in the picture to see if it's any better, to get to fit the screen, it will look even worse. So basically, I bought a copy of Event Horizon that's absolutely useless, and I'm going to have to buy a different copy. Which kind of pisses me off, because it doesn't say anywhere on here that it is formatted for full-screen TVs. It just says widescreen format. Let's see. Yeah, widescreen version, widescreen format. Like, that's all it says. It doesn't say formatted for full screen. I got the widescreen edition, the old DVD of The Brood, for like $5. I remember when this was out of print, it was going for crazy prices. Now that Criterion has done a Blu-ray release of it, it's not expensive anymore, and honestly, I like this movie, but not enough to buy a Criterion Blu-ray, considering Criterion Blu-rays can go for anywhere from, you know, $20 to upwards of $40, $50 sometimes. Their prices are really, really ridiculous sometimes. And I like The Brood, but I'm not willing to pay more than $10 for it. Next is some stuff that I got from the Amazon, like, Prime, kind of shipping in 2 hours stuff. It had to be an order over $20, and they were offering $10 off your first order. So I just randomly ordered some movies. I bought Ender's Game on DVD. I really liked Ender's Game, actually. It's one of those movies I held up on watching for a while, and then when I was on vacation last year, I decided to watch it, and I realized I'd been missing out. It's basically a movie where the whole movie is built up to the ending, and the ending is like the big kind of reveal, and I think it is absolutely just an amazing reveal, and the movie itself builds up perfectly. It builds a perfect kind of tension and kind of a feeling of just, I don't know what to say, but I really liked it, and it has Harrison Ford in it. I got Insidious on DVD. This is surprisingly one I did not own. I only owned the second one, which I like the Insidious movies up to the third one. The third one was pretty terrible, but I liked the first two, and I figured it was like $5. I figured, why the hell not? Next is What We Do in the Shadows, which is a vampire horror comedy mockumentary, basically about a documentary film crew that's recording of the daily lives of vampires in New Zealand. It is an absolutely hilarious little horror comedy, and I absolutely loved every second of it when I watched it a few months back, when I caught it on some movie channels a few months back. And I decided to get the Blu-ray because it was like $7, I think. Or it may have been $10, but either way it wasn't too expensive, and I really liked it, and I wanted to put it in the collection. Alright, on to the next pile. This one's the big one. Like, when I say big one, I mean... Alright, so first let me just go through the stuff I got in the horror pack. I figured I'd throw this in the update too. A Zombie Invasion, which is the horror pack limited edition exclusive. It's something about aliens from like outer space or something. Not aliens, but zombies from outer space or something like that. Apparently it has to do with aliens coming to Earth and the zombies come, and yeah, it's like Plan 9, I've heard. Let me just fuck. Oh, there goes another DVD. Sanctuary, Quite a Condominium. This is from Midnight Releasing, which I have another release from them that I still haven't watched, even though I've owned it for a while. But this is some kind of movie about... So something about like a nighttime pool party going wrong, and it says on the front it's Clerks meets Scream, which I like Clerks and Scream, so I'm not going to complain there. Next one is the Mothman Prophecies, which is the film about the Mothman urban legend, which that urban legend actually turns like 50 years old this year, I think. I've never actually seen this movie. I've always been interested in it. The Mothman's always been one of my like kind of favorite urban legends, and I've always been kind of interested in seeing this movie. I never really got around to it, but now I have an excuse to watch it because I own it now. And last is Hellraiser Bloodline, which is the fourth Hellraiser movie, which I already own like all the Hellraiser movies, but Hellraiser Bloodline I think is actually pretty good. And I like Hellraiser Bloodline and Inferno, the fifth one. I think those two are... I think the first, like, 5 Hellraiser movies are pretty good. I mean, the first 2 are God tier, and then the next 3 are range from being, you know, entertaining to kind of okay to pretty decent. But, I mean, hell, why not? So now I own the first 4 Hellraiser movies on actual singular DVDs. But that was the horror pack. Oh, fuck. Everything is falling over in here. Next, I have got some Blu-rays, I got some DVDs, and some CDs. I'll start with the one bootleg. This is not a bootleg I bought. This is actually something I made myself. This is a bootleg I like to call the Public Access Mix. and it is basically a cheap little bootleg. I like to do my own little bootlegs of movies that are out of print or just not released in the U.S. yet, and this one is basically a collection of weird public access stuff. It features stuff like the Great Satan at Large, the Church of Shooting Yourself, Unwind with the Sweeties, the Poetry Shed, a lot of weird, interesting kind of stuff. Blue Midnight, Owl's City from Hell, as well as some signal intrusion stuff. Some stuff like the time that somebody got into like the emergency service thing where they like alert in case of a natural disaster, and somebody put on there that zombies, that there are people coming back from the dead and eating people. You know, I got some of that stuff in there, some signal intrusion stuff in there as well, and basically it's one big giant shit post of just terrible public access TV shows, and I figured that is good enough to have in the collection because I like really shitty stuff like that, and I really like everything that I put on the mix. Now for some official releases, this is some pretty good shit right here. I got two things from Criterion actually, which is surprising because I usually don't buy much Criterion because I think they're overpriced as hell. But starting off with the one Blu-ray in this stack, it is the new Blu-ray release of Alien. Well, Aliens. I have the same release of Alien that comes with a little comic book and art cards. This one comes with a little art book and art cards as well. Show ya here, but this is clearly just a collection of artwork from the Alien comic books over the years. And these little art cards that come with this little band to keep them all together. Oh fuck, I ripped it. But it's just like postcard sized art cards, which is always cool. When they throw in little extras like this, I always like this kind of stuff. Which, you know, that's really cool. And the one they did of Alien came with art cards from H.R. Geiger, as well as a reprint of the comic book adaptation of Alien. And I got a little rant to do on this. I'm not going to pull it out because it's going to be a pain in the ass to get behind there and pull it out, to get behind this chair and pull it out, but while filming at least. But in the release they did of Alien, like this, you know, it is a terrible, actually, I mean, it's a good release. It's a quality release, and it's only $10, and it's definitely worth your money. But my problem with it is the fact that the cardboard that they put this like little package that they made this little package out of in the previous release is a lot weaker, easier to damage and tear, and it is already torn up quite a bit. And keep in mind, I've only had that release for a year, and I've only watched that release maybe 2 or 3 times. I've only pulled it off the shelf maybe 2 or 3 times. And the box that it comes in, for at least for the Alien release, is flimsy, and it is cardboard, and the side kind of comes out, and you can flatten it. Like, you can take the side out, and then it flattens out to be paper thin. And there's already a decent amount of like edge damage and stuff on it, and that really pisses me off because, again, I've only taken it off the shelf maybe 2 or 3 times. But this one, they have learned their lesson. It is a hard cardboard box. It is a hard cardboard case that they put this one in. But yeah, I figured I'd get that because it's only $10 and it's got all kinds of special features. And the director's cut, the extended cut of the film, and all kinds of cool shit, but why not? I got this 8 Films to Die For After Dark Horror Fest. I already own the one movie on the set, Perkins 14. I really like that one. I have that on a singular DVD. But I mainly got this because it was $5, and it is like 7 more movies to put in the collection. Um, I've always been interested in seeing movies like Autopsy, Broken, uh, and Slaughter, as well as Dying Breed. I'm not really that interested in Butterfly Effect 3 or From Within or Voices, but I figured it's $5, and these collections from Anchor Bay, not Anchor Bay, but Lionsgate, are usually, even though they cram like 4 movies on each disc and it's 2 discs, the picture quality is usually pretty good overall. Next, I got Ex Machina, which is a very fantastic science fiction film. I would consider it to be a kind of science fiction psychological horror film as well. And it's that movie with the sexy robot chick. But no, in all honesty, I thought this was absolutely, just an absolutely amazing, fantastic science fiction film. It's taken me a while to finally get this. It was only $7, and I figured, hey, why the hell not? Next, on to the last 2 DVDs, and these are both releases from Criterion, and they're actually spine 466 and 467. Let me just try to fucking. But yeah, and I'll start with the one I got first. It is In the Realm of the Senses, directed by Oshima Nagisa. I really like this director. I've seen a few more of his movies since I saw this one, and this one is probably my favorite from him. And it was I talked about this. If you want to hear more about this, I talked about it on my most disturbing movies list for this year, so you guys can go check that one out if you want to hear me talk about it more. But it's a Japanese kind of dark drama horror film, and psychological horror film, and I really, really enjoy it. And next is his other film, Empire of Passion, which is often compared to In the Realm of the Senses. Empire of Passion is, I haven't talked about it before on my channel, but basically Empire of Passion is a film about a, basically this woman, she kills her husband, her and this man, where she's having an affair with, kill her husband and dump his body in the well, and then his body goes missing, and people start to spread rumors, and it's a very creepy kind of old gothic ghost story almost. And this one is another one from him that I really, really enjoyed, and its portrayal of the ghost in this film is based on like the kind of kabuki theater and or classic Japanese interpretations of ghost. So basically, it is the actor who is the character that the ghost is of. It's that actor but his face is just painted white. And it is actually, although it sounds very simplistic, it's very, very creepy, and I really like it. But I got 2 more CDs today. I don't buy many CDs. I usually don't buy CDs. I'm not much of a kind of music listener, although I have bought the most recent Rob Zombie album a few months back. And about a year ago, I bought the newest Ghost album, Meliora, but I got the new Ghost EP, Pope Star, which I already own this on digital. I already own this digitally. I bought it the night it came out for $5 on digital, and I decided to buy a physical copy of it, just because I wanted it I wanted a physical copy to play in my car. But it is. It's an EP. It's only got about 5 songs on it, and it was only about $8. I figured, why the hell not? I like it enough. I like the band enough, and this EP I think is really good. And the cover art, I think, is just really, really cool. Like I wanna. I think the cover art is fantastic for this album. And I will actually be seeing Ghost here in a few weeks, which will be really cool. The other CD I bought today is the album from Ghoul, from the band Ghoul, the kind of thrash metal band, Dungeon Bastards. I've never heard of this band before, but as soon as I saw the album cover, which I think is really cool, as well as the fact that it says horror down the side, much like the old EC horror comics, the old Tales from the Crypt comics. And as soon as the guy at the counter told me about the band and said that they're kind of like Gwar, but just like how they're very shock rock, but they're very, very thrash metal. And the back of it looks like, I mean, it's just a bunch of kids playing D&D on the back, and they got like drugs and a 40, and the band is just standing behind them. And apparently this, it has the kind of summary of the story of the album on the back, and the songs, all of them actually tell the story of what the game that the kids are playing on the back is. And the cool thing is, they actually have made the cover kind of booklet thing folds out into the board, to the game board for Dungeon Bastards, and the whole plot is in here through the lyrics, and it's got the whole band in there too, which I think is pretty cool. But the guy that counter at the FYE told me that they're kind of like Gwar, a little more thrashy, and they're basically like cannibal hillbillies in hoods that like spray think blood on the audience and stuff, and it sounds really cool. I listened to some of it in the car, and I really dig it. But other than that, guys, that is it for this Blu-ray, DVD, and CD collection update. I'm Biscaboo, Horror Reviews, signing off. Peace.